Let's pray together. God, our Father, we're blessed. Every day we look around us and see the beauty that you have made for us to enjoy. We're thankful for that. We are thankful that the rains are over for now. We're just so thankful to see the sunshine around us. But God, most importantly, we're important and glad to see the people around us. So thank you for the people of this county. We pray that you continue to watch over us, guide us, and direct us every day. Be with the commissioners as they talk about the matters that are important to the people of this county. Give them wisdom and discernment and compassion. Watch over us every day. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we approve the agenda. Need to approve the agenda of the meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed. We have no awards presentations today. Public comments. Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners, citizens, always appreciate your time. I just wanted to make a brief mention here about events that occurred at the last meeting concerning setting the rules aside. I had spoke to Mr. Porter, and what I'm about to say, Lord have mercy, I'm not an attorney. Mr. Porter is a wise attorney and does an excellent job for y'all. But setting the rules aside in this particular situation that y'all did last week, there was no mention, and this involved this of course was a work session last week. And there was a special meeting afterwards concerning voting precincts. But it's what struck me as peculiar about it. The reason the state of Alabama has open meetings rules and the law is to designate that when the meetings will be appropriately designated as a meeting, whether it be a work session or a regular meeting where you vote. And of course, the rules were set aside last week to acquire a vote. I have concerns about this because, I mean, you can set the rules aside for your procedures of your meetings here. I question whether you can set the rules aside for a state law, such as the requirements to post on the agenda. I'm not saying you're wrong what you're done, because like I said, I'm not the wise attorney as Mr. Porter is. But I am saying, as a citizen of Jackson County, reading the open meetings law and have studied this conundrum sometimes it comes upon public entities, I have a concern about this because of the division of the agenda. And if you're going to do, and my concern is if you're going to do something, do it right. And I just happen to think that it would have been very easy to stipulate before the meeting that you had this issue that came up and say it on the agenda. It was not stated on the agenda. The agenda was a work session agenda. There was no meetings that was scheduled. I could see where changing the public fund 100 might be an emergency issue, but that wasn't even stated. Because you had to get it to the legislative body then. Couldn't wait. But even that was not stated prior and during the vote. I'm just asking you to use due consideration in doing what is right. Publish, if it's going to be an agenda item that you're going to have to vote on during a work session, call it like it is. Not just necessarily setting the rules aside, which are the procedures you can set aside, is you can't set state law aside, and state law designates what agenda items can be dealt with and what can't. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Avery.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm Robert Avery, and I'm with the 2020 Census. And we're here in Jackson County trying to recruit workers. And I know you gentlemen and ladies know the importance of the census and what it means to this community to make sure we get a proper head count. So I'm going to pass one of these around to all the commissioners here, if you will. We're behind in our recruiting in this area, and we need to try to get it up at best we can, and I know you gentlemen come in contact with a lot of the citizens here in Jackson County. And it's gonna be very, very important that we do get an accurate count. I know most of you probably know and hear that there's a possibility we might lose a congressional seat based on population. And I'm here to tell those folks in Washington and every place that ain't gonna happen. Because we're gonna get an accurate count, and we're gonna make sure we keep our congressional seat, number one. And number two, they're talking about the possibilities of somewhere around, Alabama is a receiver state. They're saying nationwide, the census probably equals to about $2,000 per person. And since we are a receiver state, we get a lot more than $2,000 per person back into our state. And again, that's why we need to get our numbers up. So I'm just here to make you all aware that they're in the process of hiring people for the census. You can work part-time. We're asking, people who got that part-time time, you can work 1 hour a day, or you can work 8 hours a day. You have from 12:01 Sunday morning to 11:59 Saturday night to put your time in. Because most of these people work from home. And people look at me like, that's crazy. Well, you can work from home and you can work anytime during those hours. Right now, we're not knocking on doors right now. We're doing verifying and a lot of other things. We also need a recruiter for this area. I just got this task about a little over a week ago because the person who was supposed to be working this area resigned. And so right now, if there's anybody who's looking to make some decent money, because it also pays 58 cents a mile for travel. So it's a very good opportunity for some people in the community. So if y'all could help us, we would appreciate it if you put it on your web page. And like I said, in your day-to-day talkings, if you could get with some people who need that, they go to 2020census.gov/jobs. And that's it. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, are elected officials allowed to work for it?
Nope.
Okay. I did it in 1990 and 2010, and I was
I served 24 years on the Gadsden City Council, so I got off to do this now. But no, elected officials
I didn't
cannot
think
do
so.
it. But elected officials, and the reason I'm here, because I know the importance of it and what it means for a community. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to take this job, because I knew I could meet with a lot of elected officials and they would understand the importance of making sure we get the accurate account, because that means dollars for your area. Any other questions? I thank you for the opportunity, and if you know of any groups I need to come back, civic groups I need to come back and talk to, be glad to do that.
Do you have a card?
Didn't I give you a card earlier?
No, sir.
Okay, because you remember we went on furlough. I started to say strike. But we don't have our census cards yet, but this is my personal business card. All the information there is correct, so you can always get me there, and hopefully they'll get us some business cards pretty soon, since they're back at work. Again, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Take a picture.
Next up is Mr. Clark Kinsey.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Clark Kinsey from Brown, Alabama, Commissioners. I'm here concerning County Road 93, as I'm sure the county engineer will inform you all of whether that road is in a very bad way after all these rains. I showed you pictures of it yesterday, Danny. It's in a very bad shape. And just want to say about, what we do about getting it fixed. I know it ain't going to happen tomorrow, but I run a construction business, me and my dad both do. And our church pit is right at the bottom of the mountain there. And it's about 75% of my business involves that pit. And every load I haul up that mountain comes up that road. And I can't go through Tennessee because that cut-through road that goes in front of Fox's Trading Post to come up the new way in front by the dam, there's a 10-ton weight limit on it, and they strictly enforce that. And I know that from personal experience. Because I got caught on it cutting through, so they enforce it. And so it's about a 45-minute trip out of the way to go all the way around, to come up the mountain. And I just wanted to voice my opinion, I'd like to see it fixed, as soon as possible, just so we can travel it,
To be honest with you, we can't give you a time right
Oh,
now.
I know, yeah, I know.
We're looking, we've got so many things
I
right
know,
now, it's, and we don't even know what the extent's gonna be yet until we get some of the water.
But yeah,
received
it just
now.
happened Saturday,
Yeah.
so I know.
But yeah, we are aware of it, we've actually got 4 slides?
Yes, sir.
We actually got 4,
Yeah.
or 3 more just like it.
Oh, that's right.
Too, so, but I appreciate it, but, and we are looking at everyone to see, we can give you an answer for it, how fast.
Oh, I know, it can't tell, I know this, but I just want to voice my opinion.
Well, I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming.
we appreciate you coming.
He said it all.
Yeah,
Did it.
man, a few words at you.
It sure is not like a son, I'll tell you that.
You gotta learn to talk.
I'm shy of myself.
Yeah, I know better than that.
It'll get back eventually.
I know that ain't gonna happen tomorrow, you know, it's
I appreciate you coming down.
A lot of make a problem with that face.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll help the commission any way we can,
Right.
you know, to help get it going along and get the road fixed.
Maybe that was our last public comment. To me, I go old business and we're on to new business. First one would be a motion to appoint a member to the Cumberland Mountain Water Authority Board. We actually had one person apply, and it was this person. And then we had 2 that wanted to be reappointed. So we only actually had 3 letters, 2 from the 2 that want to be reappointed, and 1 for the vacant spot. So first, we have any discussion on the first one, motion to appoint Matthew Sealy.
Proper procedure, you would have to ask for a motion for this individual, right? I mean, I talked to him later today, I didn't like the fact that it had people's names on the agenda. He explained to me that we only had the same number to apply that we had positions for. So whoever makes the motion just needs to make the motion.
Make a motion to appoint that person.
Make sure that we name that person.
I'll agree with you, Mr. Bowman. I looked at that and I wondered why those names were on there, but he's kind of summed it up here, so.
I'll make the motion to appoint Matt Seeley.
Second.
I'll second.
He was an employee for several years with and I think his knowledge of the system would be greatly appreciated.
25 years, I believe. All right, number 2, got a motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Second be a motion to reappoint 2 members, Stephen Rouse and Dan Pickett.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? All we have on new business, reports from staff. Mr. Campbell, do you have anything today you'd like to share with us?
Nothing at all, sir. I'm joking. Yeah, I would like to provide an update. As you all know, with the rain, we've experienced a lot of damage. So probably the largest scale that we have assessed so far, and we really haven't assessed more than just looking at some of it, are the mountain slides that have been discussed tonight. So there are various mountain slides that are extensive in depth and magnitude. County Road 17 is an area that had previously had some slips before, and essentially had not been repaired in the area that slid, to my knowledge. County Road 38, there's a very large slide there. County Road 93 is very long. The depth I'm not sure about. It doesn't appear to be all that deep. So there's a lot of work. As far as where we're at now, there's a lot of work out there that we haven't seen, under bridges, at cross drains, driveway entrances. And having experienced this in 2015, I think that we learned some things in assessing before we rush out to fix. We wanted to fix it, and the guys dug in and they fixed it in 2015. And later on down the road, we found a lot of things that we all looked at each other and said, man, this looks really bad. I wonder if that happened in the Christmas flood. So So, our plan now, and of course we'll do as we're told, but our plan now is to make sure we have a valid assessment, so that when we carry forward our estimates and we take our information to the state, that one, we have concrete information that we can accurately estimate by, and will also help us down the road in prioritizing fixes, how to plan our attack on repairs and things of that nature. So, to accomplish that, obviously to do a large assessment on 1,100 miles of roadway takes substantial manpower, and manpower that's trained to look and know what it's gonna take to repair, or to know that something is damaged that needs repair. So, in order to do that, we're gonna have to stop doing something else. So that's gonna be, right now, that's gonna be at least 8 two-man teams that will drive the county and assess the county, and we're gonna break the county up in 8 or 9 sections. Those folks will be equipped with a map, and they'll be able to drive and assess the roadway, the drainage structures, bridges when they come to them, things of that nature. And we'll start building our databases in hopes for FEMA discussions and FEMA reimbursement. We're at step 1 with the state declaring federal state of emergency. So, if we cross the threshold in dollars for repair estimates statewide, then we're hopeful that, federal dollars will be involved. So, we will have 2 patch crews that continue to patch, and we will have 1 grade haul crew to respond to emergency things in nature as they crop up. But our main initiative in force right now will be dedicated to this assessment, and it could take weeks. So that's our plan. That's our plan going forward. Now, some of the things that assessment will encounter don't alarm me to the extent that some of these slides do. Okay. Reason I say that is, it's not necessarily just the complexity of fixing a slide, but it's the cost of fixing the slide, and it's compounded 4 and 5 times. So the way FEMA works, if all that does come to fruition, we have to pay first, as you know, in doing the work, or hiring someone to do the work, and then being reimbursed. So when we're in multi-million-dollar repairs, the county don't have multi-million dollars to make those repairs and wait 3 years to get reimbursed. That's kind of where we are.
How long did it take to get a reimbursement on the 2015 repairs? I know it wasn't near as extensive for repairs as we're looking at this round, but was it 36 months, 24 months?
We were probably under $1 million. I know we're under $1 million total. I don't remember the exact total because it came in increments, how it was submitted on the project worksheets. But it was just finalized. That gives you some idea. Just recently finalized.
And we're looking at well over $1 million on some of the individual projects, probably.
Yes, it wouldn't surprise me if we're in the 2 to 3 million range.
On the slides, will you do any core drilling to see how far you're gonna have to go down, or how do you evaluate that?
It depends. There are geohazard mitigation expert contractors out there. So with a slide like that, the beautiful thing that we live and enjoy are these mountainsides. But the colluvial material that washes off just also happens to be where we run our bulldozer and build our road. So in the strata in those mountains, that colluvial material sitting on it, all it takes is water to trigger that slide at that layer and release that cohesion. So there are multiple ways of tapping through that layer and fixing the slides where they exist. But it really depends on whether we attack it or whether contract forces attack it, and ultimately really the price tag and complexity. So they're all individual kind of delicate creatures on figuring out a plan of attack and what we can handle and what would require something like expert equipment.
in the very near future, we're gonna have to sit down at a work session or something and just discuss finance. You know, we're gonna have to wait till we get a true assessment, or at least a partial assessment in, but I think the county's sitting on less than $2 million of capital. And, you know, I don't know exactly what Mr. Manning, or administrator's not here tonight, but, it's gonna be difficult for us to put out the kind of dollars that it's gonna take to fix everything that needs to be fixed in the next 2 calendar years.
Are there any roads that's just like a one-way in and there's no way out?
There's a sizable slide, 300 feet long, probably 30 feet deep on Summerhouse Mountain, County Road 189. There are 2 mountains that are only one way in and out. That's one of them.
Okay.
So we're able to maintain 1 lane right now.
Right.
That slide was already active prior to this event. Of course,
It's gotten worse.
this completely exacerbated that,
Okay.
what was going on there. But yes, there is a crews we're working today to maintain a lane of traffic and protection for that area.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Porter?
I just want to respond briefly to Mr. Morgan's comments about the agenda last week, and point out that Mr. Morgan has studied the Open Meetings Act probably more than anybody else I know. But the Open Meetings Act does not require an agenda to be posted. It does require that if one is posted, that it be posted the same manner that a notice is given, but the Open Meetings Act also says that the governmental body may discuss additional matters and not limited to the agenda. Title 11, which covers county commissions and their operations, requires notice of the meeting, but does not require an agenda of any kind. So the law does not require that. However, the procedures that you adopted does require an agenda to be presented, which you did. But it also provides, the procedures provide that a departure from the order of business can be approved by all the commissioners present and voting. And that's what occurred. All the commissioners approved the setting the rules aside and taking up that matter that was not initially on the agenda. So I just want to make sure you understand and you feel comfortable with what you did. It's not a violation of the law, and it's not a violation of your established procedures.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, comments from the commission?
I got something.
Oh,
I was gonna let y'all know that I talked to the Department of Revenue, and because of the governor, the state of emergency, the state revenue commissioner, what's his name? Anyway, they're gonna extend Thursday is the last day of the month, you know, to get your tax, and then there's penalties due after that. So they're gonna extend that. They're gonna allow our citizens to give, probably next week sometime. They'll let me know for sure in a couple of days when the deadline will be, but we're gonna try our best to get that word out there. So if there's anybody that hasn't renewed their car tags yet, or maybe they bought new vehicles and haven't come in to register them, and, you know, they're getting close to their 20 days, we're not gonna charge them no penalty until we're gonna extend that, or the state's gonna extend that for some time. If y'all could tell people that, we'll try to put that on our Facebook page and our website.
Yeah, put it out there and we'll share it. Thank you.
Okay, I have, this list there in Facebook.
Yeah, if she'll check with me tomorrow, I should know, because sometimes depending on how bad it is, you know, sometimes they'll do a week, 2 weeks. I figured it'll probably be sometime next week, but, you know, that'll give people a little bit more time to get their tag and stuff like that.
All right, Mr. Fenton?
No, I just, you know, I'd like to thank our employees, the Public Works, Sheriff's Department, you know, work that they've done over the last few days and the work they have in the coming weeks and months. Appreciate their diligence and their hard work.
Mr. Sid?
Yes, I got one comment. Citizen from Bryant had contacted me and he said the park, I reckon where we're overseeing, where Carl's got a crew supposed to oversee it, he said they need us some cleaning up inside the building where the bathrooms and showers were.
Hayden?
Higdon, and he wanted to know what I'd address that, and I said, we will. And, well, understood, I told him I didn't really know. He said we had some people that lived on the campus.
The North End Mountain Board.
North End Mountain, and he said, I'm thinking they're supposed to be kind of looking after it, but it's not been done. And he said, I've been over there 3 different times, and he said it is in bad need of a cleanup.
Okay.
Only other comment I had, is what Mr. Venable said. I appreciate Jonathan, the job he's doing. I mean, the knowledge he has to go forward, and I think he's addressing this the right way, because well, this is unseen matters, you know, we don't have no idea really what it's gonna cost. And I've always said, this is something we gotta prepare ourselves for with no money in the county, because Mother Nature, you know, we have these tornadoes, these, rains, torrential rains like we've had, and it can cost, major dollars. And, appreciate your work crew and doing what they've done out in this bad weather, and as he said, the sheriff's department. And, you know, I told him a while ago, I know we have a lot of issues over in Packlight Valley, but, you know, the phone calls I received, I told him, I said, hey, don't call the county right now. I said, if it's something that needs to be just picked up and threw out the road, let me know. If it's chunks and things, because we got more things that's more important. But, so they got all the work they can do.
Yeah. Thank you. Ms. Gilbert.
Same as them, thank you, Jonathan, for all the work you've been doing, but also the volunteer fire departments and all the local, I mean, the rescue squad's been at Buck's Pocket, you know, in the sheriff's department, trying to help with that situation. So just want to thank them for going out and during the weather and everything and doing what they could. And also congratulations to the Lady Vikings and good luck to the Eagles tomorrow.
Same thing as Jason and Mr. Sis and Venable said. I mean, Miss Gilbert, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. Mental
Name
lapse.
change this year.
Yeah, but all the first responders done a great job, and also too, I want people to beware of driving around the closed off roads. If something happens, who's responsible? They're, you know, if somebody drives around a closed road and has an accident, is their insurance gonna pay since the road's closed? I mean, if somebody gets hurt.
If we close it, the way I understand it, it takes the liability off the county.
Right, and if somebody has personal damage to their vehicle or get hurt, it's their problem.
It's them and their
I've got
insurance.
several reports of people driving around the barricades. On 93 is one of them, so, you know, that's,
We've had some that's moved barricades and so.
yeah, so that's, but I appreciate everybody, the whole county wide on coming together and helping.
I mean, we put the barricades up for a reason, it's for people's safety, more than anything, so I hope that everybody does adhere to our, when we put them up, it's for a reason, it's for the safety of the people of Jackson County, so appreciate if everybody would abide by them.
And let us know, if you know, public needs to let us know if they are moved. So we need to get a crew out there to get them back.
I seen one other day in Stevenson, they had water overload, you know, the kid was out there in the middle of it, and his buddy come up and push him out of the water, and he stalled his car out, you know.
Mr. Chairman, may I, we appreciate the kind words, thank you so much. In talking to nuts and bolts, I failed to recognize some employees, and I'd like to do that if I may.
Go ahead.
2 employees worked extensively over the weekend. Mike Dunn and Michael Crane, both of those guys were called out several times, over and over, multiple times to County Road 67. They placed barricades, they placed water over the road signs. They probably received little to no rest. There were others involved. 2 supervisors, you know, one supervisor handled the phone calls from dispatch and organizes his work, follows up on it. Another supervisor was involved up on 17. Ricky Sarton was also out, and Guy Rice. So Michael Crane and Mike Dunn, they worked. I didn't tally up the hours. The overtime sheets were on my desk this morning. It was a stack this thick, and I couldn't help but notice. But those guys had selected comp time instead of overtime on what they received. So I just want to mention their names because the work that they were into this weekend was, as you all can imagine. The deputies, Rocky, they sat with several slides for hours for us, kept traffic at bay until barricades could be placed. So please pass our thanks along for that. And the fire department saved us enormous amounts of money by cutting trees for us. So, you know, a lot of times we can just manage the debris, and a lot of the solid has already been done. So volunteer fire departments are a great asset. But thank you all.
It is true, we do have great employees, and we mentioned the road department a lot, because they do deserve it, and the sheriff's department. And a lot of times like dispatch, I don't think we remember those that have to take the calls all the time. The ladies in our office are constantly, during stuff like this, are working harder because of these issues, so I think all of our county employees have done a great job through this, so I appreciate those.
And those that endure the weather just to show up and do their job
Yeah.
and keep the courthouse going.
Anything else? Then I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Need a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? We're adjourned.